Call halal Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yasharala. It's your brother Cashel, coming with a great lesson in the beginning. This is going to be your introduction to creation, which for the Gentiles is the back door to truth. This is not holy, holy, holy. It's not holy scriptures at all. This is geography and astronomy in the Bible. All right. So here is Job chapter 36, verses 2, 3, and 4. And this is from me to you. Job 36, verse 2, 3, and 4. Suffer me a little, and I will show thee that I have yet to speak on Yahweh's behalf. 3, I will fetch my knowledge from afar, and will ascribe righteousness to my Maker. For truly my words shall not be false. He that is perfect in knowledge is with me. Okay. Next, we're going to go to Job, the 35th chapter. I'm sorry, John, the 3rd chapter. I'm sorry, John, the 17th chapter. Okay. Gotta bear with me. It's a lot here, and I'm a little bit rusty. So this is John chapter 17. And I'll start at verse 3. And this is life eternal. And these are the words of the one they call you know what. But his real name is Yahushai. And so these words are written in red. So everybody knows whose words are written in red in the Bible. So this is John 17 and 3. And this is life eternal, that they might know thee, the one true power, and Yahushai whom thou hast sent. Verse 17, sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth. So let's begin. As you can see, what's in front of you, hopefully is self-explanatory. But we're going to read some scripture here so that you can understand where I'm coming from. Right from the beginning. Okay. We're going to go to Romans, the 1st chapter. Okay. And let's read verse 25 first. Okay. Who changed the truth of Yahweh into a lie and worship and serve the creature more than the creator? Who is blessed forever? Shalah. Verse 18. For the wrath of Yahweh is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men, who hold the truth in unrighteousness. So these books you're looking at right now, these are the people or the men or the sources who hold the truth, but in unrighteousness. All right, verse 19, because that which may be known of Yahweh is manifest in them, because they know the truth. So they're telling you lies right there in your face. For the wrath of Yahweh is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness. 19. Because that which may be known of Yahweh is manifest in them. For Yahweh hath showed it unto them, as he hath showed it unto me. Verse 20. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and spearhead, so that they are without excuse, meaning men. So he showed his creation to men so that they are without excuse about the Father and who he is and what he has created. Verse 21, because that when they knew Yahweh, they glorified him not as creator, neither were they thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the incorruptible power, or the creator, into an image made like to corruptible man, and to birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things. That's all the idolatry. Okay? So here is, next we're going to go to Job 9 and 24. Okay? Job 9 and 24. Job 9 and 24. Okay? And Job 9 and 24 says, consistent with what you're looking at on the screen, the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. And what did they do? They covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Okay. Let's go to Romans 1. Okay. Sorry. We're going to Enoch's book now. Okay. Now I want you to understand something. I have two books of Enoch here. This is one. Okay. See that? The book of Enoch by R.H. Charles. Translation. Gentile heathen. Whatever you want to call it. And I also have another book of Enoch. Okay, which has more books in it. This one here. Okay. And this one is by Joseph B. Lumpkin. So these are the books that I'm going to be reading from. Okay. And let's go to the, what they call, I guess, the first book of Enoch. Okay. Okay. So we're going to read from this one, the R.H. Charles book. Okay. And we're going to go to chapter 6. Let's find out who changed the truth of the Creator into a lie. Okay? Bear with me. Okay. So this is Enoch chapter 6. And this is who changed the truth of the Creator into a lie. So we're going to read, we'll go 6. Okay. 7. And we'll read one verse out of chapter 8. Excuse me. So who changed the truth of the Creator into a lie? This is Enoch chapter 6. Okay. And it came to pass when the children of men had multiplied, that in those days were born to them beautiful and fair daughters. And the angels, or the watchers, the sons of heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, Come, let us choose wives from among the children of men. Verse 3, and have children with them. And Semyaza, who was their leader, that's the one you know as the so-called devil, said to them, I fear you will not agree to do this deed. Verse 4, and I alone shall have to pay the penalty of this great sin. Verse 5, and they all answered him and said, Let us all swear by an oath, and all bind ourselves by mutual curses, so we will not abandon this plan, but to do this thing. Then they all swore together and bound themselves by mutual curses. And they were in all 200 who descended in the days of Jared in the summit of Mount Hermon, and they called it Mount Hermon because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual curses on the act. Verse 7. And these are the names of their leaders. Now, I want to make something clear, okay? These names of the fallen, are not set in stone. They do have names, but everything's been corrupt and translated so much that I don't want you to, lull over these too much or be into it too much. Like these are the absolute, just know that they have names, okay? 7. And these are the names of their leaders. Sorry. Semyaza, their leader, Arakiba, Ramael, Kokabiel, Tamiel, Ramael, Daniel, Ezekiel, Barakijal. 8. Asael, Armoros, Badarel, Ananel, Zaquiel, Samsapiel, Satarel, Turel, Jamdael, Sariel. These are their chiefs of tens. Side note, El means God. El. That's why they all have El at the end of their names when it's rendered in English. Okay. Chapter 7. And all of them together went and took wives for themselves, each choosing one for himself, and they began to go into them and to defile themselves with sex with them. So the fallen had intercourse with the women. And if you're diligent with me, when I do my series called The Ones Who Dwell Within, which I'm halfway through that, it's 7 parts, then you will understand how they began to go into them and to defile themselves with sex with them. Because you're probably asking yourself, how can angels have sex with women? Well, that's all described in the books. Okay. It's all over the place, but it's here. All right. Chapter 7, and all of them together went and took wives for themselves, each choosing one for himself, and they began to go into them and to defile themselves with sex with the women. All right. Chapter 7, verse 2. And the angels taught them charms and spells, meaning the women, and the cutting of roots, potions, and made them acquainted with plants. All right. And the women became pregnant, and they bare large giants whose height was 3,000 cubits. Then the giants consumed all the work and toil of men, and when men could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against them and devoured mankind. And they began to sin against birds and beasts and reptiles and fish, and to devour one another's flesh and drank the blood. Then the earth laid accusation against the lawless ones. Chapter 8. And Azazel taught men to make swords and knives and shields and breastplates. and taught them about the metals of the earth and the art of working them, the bracelets and ornaments, and the use of antimony. Now, antimony is just the reversing of spells. So antimony, that's where you get the word anecdote from. Okay, anecdote is the opposite of a potion that is the opposite of whatever poison. So an anecdote is the opposite of poison. And the use of antimony and the beautifying of the eyelids. Let's read that again. And Azazel taught men to make swords and knives and shields and breastplates, and taught them about the metals of the earth and the art of working them, and bracelets and ornaments, and the use of antimony, and the beautifying of eyelids, and all kinds of precious stones and all coloring dyes. So we now know who taught the beautifying of the eyelids. The beautifying of the eyelids. Like on the walls in Egypt. Or like what we see many, many women do today, and men. The beautifying of the eyelids was taught by Azazel. All right, verse 2. And there was great impiety. They turned away from Yahweh and committed fornication. They were led astray and became corrupt in all their ways. Verse 3, which is what I want you to listen to very carefully, because this is the one that's going to hit home. Okay, what you see on the screen. 3, Simyaza, that's the first watcher, the head watcher, the one you know as the so-called devil. In Simyaza, he taught the casting of spells and root cuttings. Armoros taught counter spells. Barakijal, listen up, why are you looking at on the screen? Taught astrology. Kokabel taught the constellations. Ezekiel, the knowledge of the clouds. Arachiel, the signs of the earth. Shamsiel, the signs of the sun. And Sariel, the course of the moon. And as men perished, they cried, and their cry went up to heaven. Okay. Now I'm going to grab these books right here and bring them just a bit closer to you. Okay. So you can understand who wrote these books. You see that book right there? All right. You can see clearly who wrote that book. Okay. Here's the company that wrote this book right here. Everybody knows them. Everybody knows them. Okay. And just to show you a little bit of what's inside of here. Okay. All false knowledge. All false knowledge. Smithsonian's, the planets. All false knowledge. Family of the sun. Size and scale. Our star. Look at all of this. Okay. All right. This was all taught by Barakijal, taught astrology. Kokabel taught the constellations. Ezekiel taught the knowledge of the clouds. Arachiel, the signs of the earth. Shamsiel, the signs of the sun. And Sariel, the course of the moon. Okay, and they put it in these books that we learned from in school. All of this is false knowledge. None of this, well, it's half truth. There's some truth in here. But it's all false knowledge taught by the fallen. Okay, that's why the men who wrote these books got rich off selling false knowledge. Okay. Look at that chapter. Look at that. Realm of Giants. Didn't read it. I don't know exactly what that means, but I do have a lesson, plenty of lessons I'm gonna do on astrology, and I will be bringing this book back out. So that's that one. Okay, that's the planets. Now let's let's look at this one here. Okay. Look at this one. All right. Notice the title. Okay. A child's first library of learning. A child's first library of learning. Okay. So they want to get you young, obviously. Sky and earth. Look at that image of the earth. That's the image of the earth that everybody knows. Everybody knows that false image right there. That is the great deception, even more so than hiding our identity as Hebrews, because he put us through slavery to accomplish that. So that was of the will of the Father, that we be cut off. But this was not his will. This was not the will of the Father, that you change the truth of his creation into a cold lie, into a devilish, demonic lie, and print it in books all over the world for centuries. Okay, let's see who wrote this one. See that there? Look at that company. You see that? Can you see that? It says Time Life. Time Life magazine. Try to get it so I can. Time Life magazine. That's who wrote this. So what do you have here? Okay. What kind of false knowledge is in here? Let's see. Let's read some of the chapters. How was the earth formed? Why do we have day and night? How does the blue sky go? Whatever that means. How does the blue sky go? Why is the sky blue? Well, shortly here, you're going to know. How bright is the sun? Why does the sun seem to move? Why is the sky red at sunset? Why doesn't the sun set at the North Pole in summer? Why is the rising moon so big? What is moonlight? Why does the shape of the moon change? Why is there a moon in daytime? What are the shadows on the moon? Why can't we see stars during daytime? How many stars are there? What are comets? Why do stars have names? Why don't stars fall from the sky? Why do shooting stars go? What is a UFO? So what does UFO have to do with sky and earth? Yeah. So, this is complete wickedness designed for children. Complete false. Completely wicked. A half-truth is a whole lie. A half-truth is a whole lie. Look at this image right here. Look at this image. How the hell do you walk outside and see that? That's impossible. That is impossible. The world as a spinning ball holding water in, just floating in the middle of nowhere? Yeah. Okay. But we understand who did that because I just read them to you. Okay? We understand who did that. Now, since we see the deception, all right, and there are scriptures there, you all can check them out. Let's move on to the real thing. Let's make some money, okay? Let's make some money. Okay. this is John. Okay, let's go to John chapter 17. Get some scripture from John 17. Okay. John 17. Okay. Let's read 3 and 17. Okay. John chapter 17, verse 3. And this is life eternal. And this is life eternal, that they might know thee, the one true power, and Yahushua, thy son, whom thou hast sent. Okay. Verse 17. Sanctify them through thy word. Thy word is truth. Anything that the Most High speaks is truth. Anything that you can prove to be true is the word of the Most High. So if these things are proven to you in your heart, if you understand what I'm presenting in your heart and you accept it, this is the beginning of your salvation. This is the beginning of your path to salvation. Okay? Sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth. Okay. Now let's speak the truth. Right from the beginning, we go into Genesis 1. Okay. I'm sorry. One scripture before we get to the beginning. Okay. We got to go to Hebrews so that you can hear this scripture out of Hebrews first. Okay. This is going to be Hebrews chapter 11. And we will read verse 1 through 6. This is Hebrews 11, verse 1 through 6. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report. Verse 3. Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of Yahweh. And in this scripture right here, when they tell you that the worlds were framed by the word of Yahweh, the word of Yahweh is the Son, Yahushua, as it's spoken right here. That's one of his nicknames. So he helped create the worlds. Okay, Yahweh gave him orders, and the one y'all call Jesus, I hate saying that name, whose name is Yahushua, okay, he was there in the beginning, and he helped the Father create the worlds. He was given orders to create worlds, or whatever Yahweh wanted him to do. So that's what this scripture is telling you. Through faith, we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of Yahweh, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. For by faith, Abel offered unto Yahweh a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness that he was righteous, and Yahweh testifying of his gifts, and by it he being dead yet speaketh. 5. By faith Enoch, whose book I'm going to read from a lot throughout the course of this ministry. By faith, Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and was not found, because Yahweh had translated him. For before his translation, he had this testimony, the same testimony that I'm giving you, that he pleased Yahweh. 6, but without faith, it is impossible to please him, meaning Yahweh. Okay, so you cannot please the Father without having faith. All right. For he that cometh to Yahweh must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. So this is me diligently seeking the Father. Diligently seeking the Father, which I have already discovered. And my hope is to help you along the way back to the Father. Okay? So now let's get to the meat of this thing. All right? Let's get to what I really want to teach you. Okay? All right? This is Genesis. All right? Genesis 1. Creation. Okay? In the beginning, Yahweh created the heaven and the earth. All right? Now let's stop right there, because I'm going to read out of Enoch's book. Okay? This one, to give you a little bit more detail about in the beginning. I always wondered what that meant. In the beginning. Well, now I know. All right? Verse 1. In the beginning, Yahweh created the heaven and the earth. So we're going to go to this book right here of Enoch. Okay? It's got 3 books of Enoch. This is the one by Joseph Lumpkin. Okay? I also got the other one by R.H. Charles, but it's only 1 book. This one has 3 books in it. So we're going to go to this book and find out, get a little bit more information about this scripture called In the Beginning, in Genesis chapter 1. Okay? So this is Enoch, and this is the what's called the second book of Enoch, or let me see, this is in the second Enoch, or they call it the Slavonic Enoch, or the Book of the Secrets of Enoch. Okay. I'm sorry. In the beginning, Yahweh created the heaven and the earth. Okay. So I read Hebrews, all right, chapter 11, 1 through 7, and Enoch was mentioned in the 6th verse. Enoch was translated. So Enoch is in the Bible. So if you believe in the Bible, how are you going to strike down his books? Makes no sense. All right. Not to mention it all adds up anyway. All right. So here is Enoch chapter 22. Okay. And this is Enoch meeting Yahweh. Okay. Well, he met him. You can only meet somebody once, but this is him dwelling and learning. Okay, this is when Enoch is being taught. He's up in the heavens, and he's hanging out with all the elders and the Father. And on the 10th heaven, now the 10th heaven is, I'm gonna explain that later on, but just briefly, the 10th heaven is all the way at the top of all of the realms. Okay, that's where it opens up to eternity. That's where the Father dwells. It's also known as the high heaven. Okay, on the 10th heaven, which is called Aravoth, discard that word, just call it high heavens. Okay, it's top of the tops. On the 10th heaven, I saw the appearance of the Lord's face, like iron made to glow in fire, and it shone forth and cast it out, emitting sparks, and it burned. So just to give you a little bit of a visual, Enoch goes all the way up to the 10th heaven. He's taken all the way up by the archangels. And when he gets to the 10th heaven, there's a sky there, an infinite sky. Okay. And when he looked up in the infinite sky of the 10th heaven, that's where he saw Yahweh's face. Okay. He saw his face in the sky on the 10th heaven. All right. On the 10th heaven, I saw the appearance of the Lord's face, like iron made to glow in fire, and it shone forth and cast it out, emitting sparks, and it burned. Verse 2, and in a moment of eternity, I saw the Lord's face, but the Lord's face is indescribable, marvelous, and very amazing, and very, very terrible. And who am I to tell of the Lord's unspeakable being and of his very wonderful face? And I cannot tell the amount of his instructions and the variety of voices. The Lord's throne is very great and not made with hands, and I cannot tell the number of those standing around him. There were troops of cherubim and seraphim, and they sang unceasingly. I cannot tell of his unchanging beauty. Who shall tell of the unpronounceable greatness of his glory? And I fell prone and bowed down to the Lord, and the Lord with his lips said to me, okay? 5, have courage, Enoch. Do not fear. Arise and stand before my eternal face. Okay, verse 6, and the archangel Michael lifted me up and led me to the Lord's face. And the Lord said to his servants, testing them, let Enoch stand before my eternal face. And the glorious ones bowed down to the Lord and said, let Enoch go according to your word. And the Lord said to Michael, go and take Enoch and remove his earthly garments and anoint him with my sweet ointment and put him into the garments of my glory. And Michael did as the Lord told him. He anointed me and dressed me. This is Enoch speaking. And he anointed me and he dressed me. And the appearance of that ointment is more than great light. And his ointment is like sweet dew. Just so you know, ointment is another word for oil. Who puts oil in their hair all the time? Who puts oil in their hair? I put oil in my beard every day. And his ointment is like sweet dew, and it smelled mild, shining like the sun's ray. And I looked at myself, and I was transformed into one of his glorious ones. And the Lord summoned one of his archangels, whose name is Pravuel. Remember, don't take names very serious in this, but it was one of his archangels. Okay, they do have names, but they're all corrupt through these Gentile corruptions. Whose name is Pravuel, whose knowledge was quicker in wisdom than the other archangels, who wrote all the deeds of the Lord. And the Lord said to Pravuel, bring out the books from my storehouses, and a reed of quick writing. So a reed is a like a long, pointed pen that they would use. It's basically a pen. It's an old school pen. You would dip it in the ink and write with it. And the reed of quick writing, and give it to Enoch, and deliver to him the best and comforting books out of your hand. Okay. And he was explaining to me all the works of heaven, earth, and sea, all the elements, their passages and goings, and the soundings of the thunder, the sun and moon, the progression and changes of the stars, the seasons, years, days, and hours, as well as the risings of the wind, the numbers of the angels, the formation of their songs, and all human things, the tongue of every human song and life, the commandments, instructions, and sweet voice singings, and all the things that are fitting to learn. And Parabuel told me, all the things that I have told you, we have written. Sit and write all the souls of mankind. However, many of them are born. Sit and write all the souls of mankind, however many of them are born, and the places prepared for them to eternity. And he said, all souls are prepared for eternity before the formation of the world. And for both 30 days and 30 nights, I wrote out all the things exactly and wrote 366 books. Okay. Chapter 24. Okay. Now we're going to go back to Genesis 1. In the beginning, Yahweh created the heaven and the earth. Okay. That's Genesis verse 1. Now this is Enoch chapter 24. And the Lord summoned me and said to me, Enoch, sit down on my left with Gabriel. And I bowed down to the Lord, and the Lord spoke to me, Enoch, beloved, all that you see, all things that are standing finished, I tell you, even before the very beginning, I created all things from non-being. I created the visible, physical things from the invisible or the spiritual world. Hear, Enoch, and take in my words, for I have not told my angels my secret, and I have not told them their rise or their beginnings, nor my endless realm, nor have they understood my creating, which I tell you today. See how blessed Enoch is? Blessed beyond imagination. Yahweh is telling him things that he didn't even tell the archangels. That's crazy, man. For before all things were visible, I alone used to go about in the invisible spiritual things, like the sun from west to east and from east to west. In the beginning, Yahweh created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of Yahweh moved upon the face of the waters. So the Spirit of Yahweh moved upon the face of the waters. Enoch chapter 24, verse 4. For before all things were visible or physical, I alone used to go about in the invisible spiritual things, like the sun from east to west and from west to east. This is why you pace across the room when you think. You see, in the beginning means when Yahweh was thinking about creating things. That's what in the beginning means. And as he moved across the water, he started formulating plans to create. 4. For before all things were visible, I alone used to go about in the invisible spiritual things, like the sun from east to west and from west to east. Verse 5. But even the sun has peace in itself, while I found no peace, because I was creating all things, and I conceived the thought of placing foundations and of creating the visible, physical creation. Chapter 25. I commanded, this is Yahweh speaking to Enoch. Chapter 25. I commanded in the very lowest parts that the visible, physical things should come down from the invisible or from the spiritual realm. So he creates things he created things in his realm or one of his realms, and then he teleported them or transported them or translated them into the earth. This is in the beginning. Okay. I commanded in the very lowest parts that the visible, physical things should come down from the invisible or the spiritual realm. And Adoel, disregard that name, and Adoel came down very great, and I beheld him, and he had a belly of great light. I'll tell you who this is in a second. Maybe you can figure it out, but I'll tell you at the end when I read these. And I said to him, become undone, Adoel, and let the visible, physical universe come out of you. And he came undone, and a great light came out. And I was in the midst of the great light, and as there is born light from light, there came forth a great age, and showed all creation which I had thought to create. Now, can you figure out what Yahweh just did? Okay, I won't wait too long. He created the sun, and then across the sun's surface, he projected all that he thought to create. Listen again. And I said to him, become undone, Adoel, and let the visible, physical universe come out of you. And he came undone, and a great light came out. And I was in the midst of the great light, and there is born light from light, the sun. There came forth a great age, and showed all creation which I had thought to create. And I saw that it was good. And I placed for myself, this is Yahweh, a throne and took my seat on it and said to the light, or to the sun, go up higher from here and station yourself high above the throne and be a foundation to the highest things. And above the light there is nothing else. And then I rose up and looked up from my throne. Wow. Back to Genesis. Okay. We're going to finish up here in a second. All right. In the beginning, Yahweh created the heaven and the earth. Okay. I'm sorry. Go right back here. Okay. This is Genesis 1 and 2. In the beginning, Yahweh created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void. And darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of Yahweh moved upon the face of the waters. Okay. And Yahweh said, let there be light, and there was light. That's when he created the sun. I just read that. Okay. And when he saw the light, he saw that it was good. And Yahweh divided the light from the darkness, sun and moon, day and night. Okay. And when Yahweh saw the light that it was good, and Yahweh divided the light from the darkness, verse 5, and Yahweh called the light day, and the darkness called he night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. Okay. So verse 6, and Yahweh said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. Okay. Let there be a firmament in the midst or the middle of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. So out of here, okay, this is Oxford Illustrated, big expensive dictionary. Okay, we're going to find out what the firmament means. Okay, and it's right here in the F's. Okay, this is Oxford Illustrated Dictionary. Okay, 19th century neoclassical build. Oh, well, that's just was reading the description. Okay, so this is Oxford's dictionary. Firmament. Okay, a noun. Literary, the sky regarded as a vault or arc. Okay. Firmamental. Okay. Firm, of solid or compact structure. Fixed, stable, steady, not shaking. Okay. Not easily shaken, steadfast. All right. So firmament means firm. Okay. And it's also what you look at when you go outside every single day and look up. Every single day you walk out of your house and look up, you see a great work of the Father. A great work. Okay? Again, firmament, noun, literary, the sky regarded as a vault or arch. Okay? Genesis 6, and Yahweh said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. Okay? And Yahweh made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And Yahweh called the firmament heaven. And I can tell you that the Hebrew word, the ancient Hebrew word for heaven is Shamyam. Shamyam is the Hebrew word for heaven or sky. It can be used in different ways, but that is the word, Shamyam. And the evening and the morning were the second day. Okay. verse 9 and 10. Okay. And Yahweh said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. And Yahweh called the dry land earth. Okay, so he called the land earth. That is what's called earth, the land itself. Creation has many working parts with their own names. The land is called earth. Okay, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas. Okay, and Yahweh saw that it was good. All right. Genesis 1, 11, 12, and 13. And Yahweh said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so. Verse 12, and the earth brought forth grass and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And Yahweh saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the third day. Okay. 11, 12, and 13. (11, 12, and 13) again. 11, 12, and 13 one more time. (14 through 18). Okay. And Yahweh said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven. Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night. And let them be for what? For signs and for seasons and for days and for years. So this is what he uses the luminaries for. For signs, seasons, days, and years. 15. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. Verse 16. And Yahweh made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. Now, I read previously in the book Sky and Earth, the planets, and all of these scientists got all of these lies about how the stars were created and the sun and the moon. But they are clearly part of Job 9 and 24. Clearly. All right. And Yahweh made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And Yahweh set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And Yahweh saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. Okay. Okay. Let's read again. 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. And Yahweh said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And Yahweh made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And Yahweh set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. So he set them into the firmament. As you're looking right there, okay? And Yahweh said, verse 19, and even in the morning were the fourth day, okay? All right. Let's go again. And Yahweh said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night. And let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And Yahweh made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And Yahweh set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth and to rule over the day and over the night and to divide the light from the darkness. And Yahweh saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. Okay. Now, the reason why I'm doing this so many times is so that when you watch this, you understand it fully. Okay. There's the progression there. You can see it. All right. 14 through 18 again. And Yahweh said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And Yahweh made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, sun, and the lesser light to rule the night, the moon. He made the stars also. You mean to tell me your scientists and your astrologists and astronomers and all these people who don't mention the Father, they're gonna go against what he created? So their theories, which theory means just made up. You look up the word theory, it just means to guess, to make up something. So all of their theories trump this, what's in the Bible about what creation is? Yeah, absolutely not. And let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And Yahweh made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And Yahweh set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth and to rule over the day and over the night and to divide the light from the darkness. And Yahweh saw that it was good. And the morning and the evening and the morning were the fourth day. And Yahweh said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And Yahweh made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And Yahweh said, and Yahweh set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And Yahweh saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. Okay. One more time. So there you can see. There you can see clearly. Now, when you go outside every day, is that not what you look at? Every day of your life. When you go outside, what you're looking at right there on the screen, is that not what you see when you go outside? Absolutely it is. Okay? 18 and 19. And to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And Yahweh saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. Okay. Now, since this is only introduction, I'm getting ready to wrap this up. Okay. All right. All right. I'm going to go to Thessalonians. So I can go ahead and wrap this up. This is not even the beginning. Look, this is like just not even, this is just scratching the surface, people. This is just scratching the surface. All right. So this is 2 Thessalonians. All right. 2 Thessalonians, the second chapter. And I'm going to read 9 through 12. All right. This is 2 Thessalonians. 2 Thessalonians, the second chapter. All right. Verse 9 through 12. All right. Verse 9. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth. This is the love of the truth. Okay? This is the love of the truth. Okay? Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. Verse 11, and for this cause Yahweh shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, the greatest lie ever told, which is right in your face, which is an obvious truth right in your face. So if you don't understand this, then you are out of here. Okay, this is very, very basic knowledge, very basic within our community. All right, amongst the Hebrews, we know this right here, what I'm teaching, to be straight factual. None of us will argue with any of this. So if you don't understand this, then you need to go ahead and, I don't know. I really don't. I don't wish what I know is going to happen to people who don't understand this on anybody. But if you don't understand this, then you're in trouble. You are in trouble. All right. Verse 12, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. Okay. All right. I'm going to close this out with a verse from Enoch chapter 69. Okay. I'm sorry. Not Enoch 69. I'm sorry. We're going to my last. It's a closing scripture here. Is so I'm gonna close out with what's that scripture? Okay. So we Enoch 35 and 4. That's where we're gonna close. Close this out with Enoch. Okay. Chapter 35. Enoch 35, verse 4. And as often as I saw, I blessed always the Lord of glory, and I continued to bless the Lord of glory, who has wrought great and glorious wonders to show the greatness of his work to the angels and to spirits and to men, that they might praise his work in all his creation, that they might see the work of his might and praise the great work of his hands and bless him forever. Barakatah Yahweh. Bahasham Yahweh Shai. Shalom.